Orphans in search of adventure have a run-in with pirates and end up on a quest to find buried treasure.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with
Michelle,
Andre,
Luis.
and me, Emily. We're a family-friendly podcast where we pick a new Disney movie each week. We watch it, share our thoughts, and then relate it to pop culture, fandoms, and anything else that pops into our heads. Enjoy!
hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 41. 41.
41.
We did it. We're here for our 41st episode. Isn't it exciting?
Watching the best movie ever, Muppet Treasure Island.
Muppets Treasure Island from 1996.
Is it
From the
best?
Jim Henson Company, directed by Brian Henson. Muppets Treasure Island. First impressions,
We'll just start with you with those incriminating eyes over there.
Michelle.
Boom.
The Muppets aren't my thing, guys.
How many Muppets movies have you seen?
This one.
You haven't seen the Christmas Carol still?
No. I have seen the newest Muppets movie. I liked that one.
Okay. The Jason Segel one?
Yes, I like that one.
That one was good.
I just like that one.
But Muppets, I'm not sure if it's my cup of tea.
Okay.
It's what's that kind of humor that I don't like very much?
Funny.
Gaggy humor. Gaggy humor is not my thing. I don't like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And
I really appreciate the
huge
fact that
Muppets
you're,
fan.
equating this to Monty Python. It's really
Close,
taking
right?
up the stature. I think.
It's close. First impression was I watched it. There was music that I wasn't expecting to happen. And a little boy with a very high-pitched voice.
Saying.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
I won't lie, that was very much like...
Luis's eyebrows went up
probably-
so high when he started
he
singing.
probably never acted
Not as high as his
again.
voice.
Oh, you're right.
It did have some funny moments, and I guess we'll get to those.
So
Andre, first impression.
I just wouldn't sing if I were that guy.
That's what he sounded like.
I think he sounded a little bit better than that.
okay, Luis, what was your first impression since y'all hating on little Jim Hawkins?
It was funny in probably the way that Michelle hates. Monty Python-ish.
It is, right?
I like it because it's based off of a classic book.
Right.
So, yeah, I like those.
Classic books.
Well,
Luis is a
yeah.
fan.
I did like its relation to Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's not a book.
I know, but I like pirate things.
This was my first pirate movie.
Was it?
Yeah. I think it was my first pirate movie, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I watched this movie as a young child, and I love the Muppets. The Muppets are so funny and silly and ridiculous to me. Like, I think that my sense of humor probably had something to do with watching Muppets movies growing up as a kid. And upon rewatching it this time, it wasn't quite as hysterical as I remember it being, but I was still cracking up a lot when we were watching it.
I agree.
Mostly
You're
'cause
cracking up at my face.
Mostly
going,
because of Michelle rolling her eyes and also the rats.
So funny, dude.
The rats.
Dude, so funny. There's no way for me to be impartial.
You can't be objective
No,
about
I
this
can't
movie?
be objective whatsoever. I love this movie because I loved it as a kid. And literally the moment that there is any sound, I'm like, I was Flint's first mate that voyage. Like, I know I know the words. I know the songs. I was literally singing the whole thing. And so, was it good? Who knows? It was great. I just really enjoyed
maybe
it.
if I had seen it as a kid, I don't know.
Yeah,
This is definitely like we've been watching Marvel movies for the past month for this podcast, and going back to like straight up kids movies was a little bit jarring, but it's still fun.
Yes. I think it was nice to have something so lighthearted.
Yeah.
Even though, you know what my first impression is? This movie was rated G, and I think it like at least deserved a PG. Like, they tripping.
props.
This was
Props.
not a
They
G
coulda.
movie. Like, they had death. They had like I'd be cutting
He
throats.
died?
And
It's supposed to be a kids movie.
right? They had, I don't know. I'm just going to say this was PG, not G. Okay.
Okay,
good,
so let me say some good things about Muppets.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
are Muppets that I despise.
Okay.
And there are Muppets that I like. So I'll name the Muppets that I like.
I'm going to pause you because I think that most people feel that way. I don't think every person
No?
loves every single Muppet.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't. So I'm right there with you.
Okay. I like Kermit the Frog and I like Miss Piggy.
Yep.
I like gosh, what are their Statler and
Statler,
what?
Waldorf.
I like them.
The hecklers.
And I
Yeah.
like the rats. The rats were really funny.
Yes. How do you feel about Gonzo?
Nah.
About Gonzo?
Gonzo's
He's okay.
awesome. I love
The
Gonzo.
whatever?
He's a whatever.
They don't even have like a
I
species
don't know if
for
I
him.
necessarily paid too much attention to him in this movie. Like, it was cool. But you know, Miss Piggy will be my favorite all day, every day. I love me some Miss Piggy. So
All
I
day.
was very excited when she came on screen. Those were my favorite scenes.
It almost feels like she's
Shalaka-laka.
not coming.
Yeah,
You know
honestly,
what I mean?
she's not in the movie enough.
I thought, yeah, she should be in the movie way more. Even Kermit should be in the movie way more, to me. Like, they're hilarious. I absolutely love them. And the rats. That was so funny to me.
They start getting on the boat, and Rizzo is selling cruise line tickets to a bunch of rats.
He says, Rats Cruises Limited. We put the rat in pirate.
Hilarious. Yeah, so I like Rizzo, the rat. He's really funny. But
And he's always snacking.
yeah, he is.
He's
Maybe
hashtag-
that's why I like him. I don't know.
Oh.
But a lot of the other Muppets bugged me, and I'm pretty sure all of the human characters in this movie bugged me.
You're
Even
telling me Tim Curry bothered you?
Long John Silver.
Yeah, he
Long
bothered
John.
me. He was real annoying.
Ooh, I love Long John.
He's great. He's like the best part of this movie.
Yeah, he is.
You
Tim
think
Curry.
he's the best part of this movie?
Tim Curry. Yes.
He's
It's
so
all about
scary.
Miss Piggy when they're singing boom, shalaka boom, shalaka.
I do love Miss
That
Piggy.
was funny.
Yeah, but Tim Curry's pretty scary.
Okay, well, I don't know much about Tim Curry.
He's in everything.
Is he?
Yeah.
What movie were we talking about a couple weeks ago where like he was thought about to be the role, but then when he did his audition, it was like way too scary and they didn't cast him?
Oh, I don't remember
I
which one
can't.
it
Luis
was.
couldn't remember either, but he's a scared dude.
Yeah, he's terrifying. I can't remember which.
You know,
movie
one
it
of the
was.
things I read about this was that his grandfather was like a pirate. I don't know. He was like a sailor
I
ship
can believe
man.
that. You don't get those eyebrows from a dude that's not a
And
pirate.
so he literally like imitated how his grandpa talked for this role.
Oh,
Like he was
interesting.
like, you know, how he was like,
It's even scarier.
he's like, this is just how my granddad talked. I don't know. That's not a very good version, but it's true. Thought that was pretty funny.
I also think to watch this movie, you have to be in a very specific mood. Like you
Oh,
have
for
to
sure.
be.
Yeah.
You have to go into it thinking this movie's going to be a gag. You can't go into this movie. Andre wakes you up at 9:00 and says, "Dear, we have to finish watching the movie because we have to go record." And I'm half asleep, going, "What are we? What?" Like
Yeah.
you got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I was having a bad day when I watched this the other day, and then I was like, Louis, let's put on some Muppet Treasure Island. And we watched it, and then I was in a great mood after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just needed like that.
I just need a little old time rum while I watch it.
Pick me up.
Fact check.
an
I
old
actually,
time
I took it upon myself as a great husband
Oh.
to suggest watching this movie so she could then have a better day.
Boom.
What
Okay,
a great husband.
you did
The
fact
best
check me.
Husband.
So,
Braggadocious
so
husband.
what book is this movie based off of?
Treasure Island.
Oh,
Yes.
Based off
by-
of Robert Louis Stevenson.
That's the dude. And, you know, it's the basic story of
Of
there's a
piratry.
treasure map, and then some kid gets a hold of it, and then we got to go find the treasure, and then
Becomes a man.
Some mutiny happens, and pirates show up.
Rare.
Long
I
John
think-
Silver. He's
I
not
think-
just a cook. Uh-oh.
Long John Silver, which cracks me up because I used to eat at the Long John Silver.
Yeah, he's a great cook.
Is that what that is based off of? The restaurant? Long John Silver?
It's based
You-
off of this book. Yeah.
Off of the book.
Yeah, you used to eat the hush puppies.
Yeah.
You guys never had hush puppies?
No, I did. I know.
I love me
about
some
those.
hush puppies.
Wouldn't that have been funny if there was hush puppies in the movie?
I would have been laughing. I actually was laughing when they gave, I can't remember his name, the black spot.
Yeah.
Billy Bones.
Yeah, when they gave him
Billy
the black spot, because
Bones.
all I
Billy
could think about
Bones.
was Captain Jack Sparrow when they gave him the black spot.
Mhm.
Right.
I was like, hey, it's the black spot.
You know, that's how I knew in Pirates of the Caribbean what it meant was
Right.
from this
Really?
movie.
From this movie.
That's
I
a
wanna know.
pirate thing, though.
Yeah,
The
it's a
black
pirate
spot,
thing.
But I
Yeah.
wouldn't have known what that was. I was like, oh yeah, like Muppet
Oh,
Treasure
snap.
Island.
He is in trouble.
Billy Bones. Black Spot.
I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I know about pirates.
Oh,
wow.
man, he
You've
knows
been
about pirates.
Sailing the open seas in a video game.
Lord Almighty.
So this movie follows the story of Treasure Island pretty closely with
Surprisingly.
some Muppet fun.
Is that a
added
Muppet
in.
thing where they would take tales and then just remake them into
Yep,
movies?
that's what Muppet Christmas Carol is.
I knew that's what Christmas Carol was, but I
Mhm.
didn't necessarily know that's what the other movies were. Like
Yeah.
Muppets in Space, is that like that too?
No, I think Muppets in Space is like an original an original story. I
That
think.
wasn't supposed to be a remake of
Like-
Space Odyssey 2000, the one that's like 4 hours long or something like that.
Yeah, maybe, but
And the Muppet Caper. It's like Jewel Thief.
I think
They
I would
have
like
tries.
Muppets in Space because I like space.
Muppets Take Manhattan. No, I think those are like original Muppet stories, whereas Christmas Carol and Treasure Island.
Not 2000 Space Odyssey or something.
I mean,
like that?
it probably has. I haven't seen that one in a long time, so it probably has some allusions to 2001: A Space Odyssey, but not that I can remember off the top of my head. Muppet stuff.
Stuff.
Well, there's a couple Muppets we haven't brought up yet, and especially the one that's my favorite. And I'm going to assume it's Luisa's favorite, too. We didn't talk about who your favorite is. Louis, you tell me first, and then see if I'm right or not. Who's your favorite Muppet?
Kind of a tough one.
I'm
Out
really
of
hoping
all-
you guys don't say a specific one. I
Out
don't
of all
know.
the Muppets, it's probably going to be either Kermit or it's going to be Eagle Guy.
Yeah! Sam the Eagle.
Sam the
Oh,
Eagle's
Eagle!
so
I
cool.
like. I
Of
like
course,
Eagle.
Sam the Eagle is your favorite.
Yep.
He's keeping the peace. He's
I like
making
Sam
the
the
order.
Eagle.
He's authoritarian. He's
Samuel
Louise.
Arrow in this movie. It's so funny. Louise, I have not seen Louise laugh this hard in a very long time.
Really?
So so pretty much, long story short, the orphans are at this, like, orphans meaning Jim Hawkins, Gonzo,
And Rizzo.
They're in this, like, weird pirate run-in. They end up getting the treasure map. They go and they commission a ship from Fozzie Bear, which is like Squire Trelawney. He's like really a half-wit. Poor kid.
Yes.
He's so
I
silly.
cannot
He's got-
stand him.
He's got
He's-
multiple personality disorder.
He's rough in this movie, which I usually love Fozzie, but
yes, I
this,
love Fozzie most of the time too.
See,
but
I
in this
was
one,
I was hating on him hard. in
this wasn't
movie.
his best role.
Mr. Bimbo kind of ruined Fozzie.
Yes. But so they end up on this boat, and the first mate is Samuel Arrow. So Sam the Eagle's standing there, and he's like, "Wash the deck, do this, do that." He's like, "The captain will be approaching," and he makes the captain sound so scary.
Yes.
So and then you see the coach coming, and it looks all ominous and stuff.
Music is the music, by the way, for this movie is by Hans Zimmer.
Yes,
So
Mr. Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, Zimmer, Hans Zimmer, Zimmer, Zimmer.
the dude
Right.
drew his inspiration for Pirates.
Right.
From Muppets Treasure Island.
He knew all about that pirate music, right? So it's so like menacing, and then you see Kermit the Frog
love
step
Kermit.
out. He steps out as Captain Smollett, and he's and freaking
so nice.
he walks on board. Good day, gentlemen.
And then Mr. Sam is all like, "Oh, he is furious. He must have had a terrible night."
And like everything that
Just
Kermit
did this.
says,
You're gonna have to walk the plank.
and he's like,
He will shoot you.
that is not what I said. And he's like, I was paraphrasing.
Yeah, I will agree that I loved him. He was really great.
So freaking funny. I really appreciate Sam the
God.
Eagle because he has the kind of humor that's
It's
like
funny.
reverse humor.
Yes.
I can handle that humor.
He's a straight
and then I
man.
still absolutely cannot get over the rats. They're just like
They're
the
on vacation
best-
the whole time.
The best scene. Don't even talk, Andre. The best thing is when the band is like playing on the boat and they're dancing, and then the one rat's like, "Oh my gosh, something," and then they just start kissing. He's
They're
like,
like
"Ah,
falling in love.
I love
It was
you,"
like a little
and they're
story.
dancing. They're like, "Yeah,
I
dance
just
with me."
wanted to say to you that I just wanted to, and then they smooch each other, and the camera's just passing by.
I was dead. The
Tiny
rats,
little
the
love
rats
story.
made it for me.
well, and the music's like and they're little dancing to it. So funny.
The rats. I can't get enough of the rats. I really liked them.
Well, there's one point where they break the fourth wall for sure, and they're like, and this is the area where we
We filmed the Muppets Treasure Island.
Luis
And
was
they're
like,
like,
what is
"Ooh."
this? So funny though.
When they're like pretending they're at a luau just watching the pigs doing their like cultural thing, they're like, "Oh wow,
This is really
Great.
nice.
That's like my favorite thing about the Muppets is that they're like they're supposed to be like real, not real people, obviously, but like they're set in like a real life version of a place where they're all just making movies all the time. They're a production company made entirely of puppets that
that are real,
that love making movies and love performing and are straight up entertainers.
That's freaking hilarious.
It's hilarious.
You know, one good thing they did with the direction of this movie, though, I was reading about production, and apparently original rights of this movie had Gonzo and Rizzo playing Jim Hawkins. So instead of it being like Jim Hawkins, the character as the kid, one of them was Jim and the other one was Hawkins. And the two of
like
them
that better.
Well, the problem though is that the two of them were playing all of like the central theme roles.
Right.
So they were going back and forth with the map, and then once they got there it was hard for like Lon John Silver to like convince them both to do things.
And it also kind of takes away of this being like a kids movie if there's not like a kid.
Right.
If it's
No,
just
but I couldn't
Gonzo and
stand
Rizzo.
that kid. I'm sorry.
Well, and it's funny because as a kid he didn't bother me, but now looking back I'm like, wow, the music was fantastic, but the choices were very weird for him. Well, and here's, you want to talk about that particular song?
Shut up, dude.
Listen to this. So apparently he did like the best audition with that song. The Something Better was the one he did the audition with, and they recorded it. They loved him. Like the first moment they heard him, they were like, this is it. Well, 6, 7, 8 months later they start production and his voice had changed.
Oh god.
So gentlemen, you know, out there, and if you've been well, it's interesting because I mean, if you were ever in any kind of musical like production, or if you ever sang in your life, you know, like when you're in junior high, you know, it's weird to be in choir with gentlemen because some of them still have their falsetto, they're still singing up high,
soprano voice.
Yeah. And some of them, their voices start dropping, and then they're basses. You know, they go all the way down to the bottom floor.
Baritone bros.
So it's funny.
What happened?
And apparently, so they start production. His voice had changed, so they had to use his audition song and dub it over the top.
It was bad. Like I could very physically tell, and I don't know. This is just I judge people's. I know they're lip syncing in movies. I know they are because they record it before and then they do the scene, right? But I hardcore judge people's lip syncing in movies. Any musical I watch, I'm hardcore judging, and his was bad. He was opening his mouth so big. I was like, oh, please just.
Well, and I think that's what's so hard about it is that he probably like his speaking voice was his new, you know, his
new voice.
His new voice, and then so he went to go sing, and it was.
I was like, what is that?
His kid voice.
Not this better.
I must be something better than this. I was like, get out of here.
For you and me.
His voice is so high. His voice didn't bother me as much as his mullet did, though.
No, Jesus. It was bad, though.
He had a hefty mullet.
But you want to know who sang really well? Tim Curry.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Loved him.
He was like, shut up, this is my one song.
This is my number.
I liked it because he sang it was very sing-songy. Like he allowed his accent, his pirate
like a
ness.
shanty.
Oh yeah,
sea shanty.
He let it come through. When you're a professional pirate, I'm like, oh, stop! I love it.
Did he get passed on because he was too scary for Hook, or was he in Hook? He was in Hook, right?
No, he's not in Hook.
No, it was a different movie.
No, it wasn't that movie. I can't figure out what it was.
Was it?
We'll have to go back and look at all of our live actions.
Was it Loki?
No.
Was it the first Pirates of the Caribbean as Barbossa?
No, I feel like it was a Marvel movie, and I can't remember.
No, I don't think it was a Marvel movie.
It was kind of like if you got.
I think it was definitely like a live action.
It was a movie we watched, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I remember having this conversation.
Look at our list of movies we watch. You guys, they start to blend together after a while. If you've watched 40 Disney movies, you would know.
One each week, man.
One
It gets
in
a
a row.
little
quite
blurry.
But yes, he did sing very, very well, and
enjoyed
I
it.
thoroughly enjoyed his song.
Yeah, he's great. I love Tim Curry. He's really good in this particular movie because he's like a scene stealer. Like every time he's on screen, it's very electric, and he's very charming and scary. He's devilish.
Well, and apparently, like, other people had talked about how it was really hard to be on screen with Muppets because they apparently, this is what people say, is that Muppets will upstage you because they're funny, because they're silly looking, because they have all these funny lines. And he was like, I will be damned if these Muppets upstage me. So that's, I think, part of his like grandioseness came from that.
It's probably like disorienting too to have to like act with a Muppet.
For sure.
It's gotta be
awkward.
weird.
Yeah.
Can you
and
imagine
you could like
a
see
little
the
puppet?
people. You could probably like see the people underneath, like working them and
Right,
stuff. I don't
yeah.
know. It would be very weird.
Well, and it was funny because apparently Michael Caine, who had played he played Humbug the year before. Help me. Scrooge. He had played
That's
Scrooge in The Christmas Carol the year before, had said that it was really cool to work with Muppets because you could wear your own shoes.
Because your feet are never going to be
like,
shown.
Your feet don't show because the Muppets are going to be chest up. So it was really cool for him. He could wear whatever he wanted. But, you know, Tim Curry was a one-legged pirate. So for him, he had to, he was like hopping around on one leg the whole time.
Getting lifted up into the air.
Couldn't wear his own shoes.
No shoes.
Sucks to suck.
Sorry, dude.
no shoes.
I wrote down in the beginning of this movie because there's the first pirate that comes in, the blind guy,
Blind Pew.
Like there's like an action.
Hated him.
There's like an action moment where Billy Bones pulls out his gun and then the blind Pew, he does like a spin move and blocks the gun or whatever.
And it's like,
and I was laughing because like Muppet action is kind of silly because you're not really going to see like their entire body because they're a puppet or whatever, and so they have to do like these quick, decisive cuts in the filming. But then at the end of the movie, there's a scene where Kermit is flying through the air.
his whole body is like
his whole body is just
I love it.
flipping
When
to
he's
attack.
like flipping his sword too. I'm like, get it, Kermit.
He's just swinging his sword around.
Oh, and it slips out of his hand. He's like, oh, frog's so slimy.
my
hands are slippery.
favorite scene in this whole movie, and I remember loving this as a kid, is when it's at the end of the movie and he's using his sword and he's cutting off like the fancy frill on on Long John Silver's jacket, and he's like it's going all the way down and cutting it off, and he's just looking at him like, what are you doing? And he's just going to town with his little sword.
In that scene, by
His
the
little
way,
flimsy arms.
his shirt is popped open and he has a tattoo of Miss Piggy on his chest. Oh my god!
It was funny.
Dying. It's so they have a crazy relationship.
I love Kermit and Miss Piggy.
You want to know why it's not G? It's because Miss Piggy be up in there dating everybody and their mother.
What did
Yeah.
she say? She said something like,
She got commandeered, but she was
"I'm
like,
a pig. I need commitment." I'm beginning to see a pattern in the men I date as they're hanging upside down.
So
Oh
funny.
my God, Miss
I
Piggy.
can't.
Miss Piggy is fantastic.
Their little love song was quite funny.
Love, let us hear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're just hanging from the cliff singing. I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, what would you do if you and Andre were hung on the side of a cliff?
Yeah, I kind of teared up, not going to lie. I was like, it's real deep.
Yeah, we'll probably sing a duet.
Yep.
Yeah. For it.
You guys can sing Aladdin, and then Andre will sing all the chick parts,
I'll
and you
sing all
can sing the
lady
dude
parts.
part.
The only song I remember, is the Something Better one. And it's because we watched that scene the first day we started to watch a movie, and then we didn't watch the rest. So then we heard it again, and I was like, oh, it's stuck in my head. But I don't necessarily remember how the other ones go.
You didn't like the sailing for adventure around the big blue wet
Oh,
thing.
no.
that
I
was my
liked
favorite.
the one where they got the crazies.
Cabin Fever.
Yeah,
Yes.
that one.
It's
Cabin
so
Fever.
it's so
That
funny
was
because
funny.
I actually reference that quite a bit, like as an adult. Like if Luis and I are at home and I feel like we need to get out, I'll be like, Lou, I have cabin fever, and I don't think like
You didn't realize it was from this?
I didn't even realize that it came from this, and then the scene came on. I'm like, Lou, you know how I say cabin fever? Look at the screen. Which it's funny because that that song in particular is the most Muppety.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I like that
'Cause
one, which is funny that I
it
would
jumps
like that
into
one.
like crazy costumes and outfits and music and the lights.
They have like the Chiquita banana thing on the
Yes.
top of their heads. and
It's
it's
funny.
It's a performance. It's a Broadway show in the middle of this.
There was no breeze, man. I feel for them.
And then my favorite part is, what's his name? Clueless Morgan is like, what about that song, Cabin Fever? And everyone's like,
What are you talking about?
You didn't hear it? Cabin Fever.
Stupid.
Those are, and you know the interesting thing about this movie? Okay, so are you ready? I have some cool facts about
Yeah,
this movie.
hit us with it.
There are more than 400 Muppets used in here.
What?
What?
400?
Between all of the mice,
Yeah.
everyone, and again, remember
The
that
birds
Muppets
were Muppets.
the birds, the fish, the talking like heads, like on the
Yeah.
island, the skeletons, those are all considered Muppets,
Right,
okay?
yeah.
So over
There's a couple
400.
pieces of fruit and stuff like that in there.
The
Stupid
Swedish
chef,
chef
I
is
hate
my
Yes.
favorite.
Well, I hate that guy.
Burgy, burgy, schmurgy, nergy. That's actually from the Muppets Carol.
I
but
hate that
God,
guy.
I love him so much. And I love how they were like, how else were we going to get him in this movie?
Yeah. Just cooking on the island.
Skewer the mouse.
So funny. Anywho, so many Muppets. This is the movie that had the most humans on set, which makes sense. There's a lot of human pirates
Yeah.
too. And it had the most new characters with the 3 takeaways of Polly the Lobster, Clueless Morgan, and Mad Monty. They were
Polly
all
the
specifically for this, which is really cool. Okay.
Yeah, the weird pirate Muppets, I couldn't get into those. Like, there was one that was dead, and then there was another dead one.
Dead
and-
Tom's dead.
He
got shot.
He's always been dead.
Oh.
Long John shot him. That's so funny. Okay, so fun fact 1. This movie was almost a King Arthur adaptation instead of a Treasure Island.
Right. They were like
adaptation.
deciding between medieval.
Well, I didn't
and
like Monty Python, so I
Treasure
don't think
Island.
I would have liked that either.
Yeah, this was the predecessor to our favorite Pirates of the Caribbean. So.
Yeah.
We already talked about how Gonzo and Rizzo were almost the original leads.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Frank Oz, who does the voice of actually quite a few of
lot.
the characters,
Yeah.
he does Fozzie Bear. He hated the Mr. Bimbo gag.
I hate that so
he didn't
much.
like it at all until it was in
Understandable.
post-production, and then he was like, all right, fine.
It looks okay.
But
It
he
was dumb.
Yeah, he didn't like it, which was really interesting. This one is hilarious. Are you ready? So apparently this the set of this movie was like actually on barges.
Okay.
Like they built like a barge boat, and they actually had like water that moved so that it looked like they were on a ship. And so Mr. Henson was like, everyone's going to get seasick because it's very
It's gonna be
realistic.
Moving this boat.
So they gave them anti-nausea medicine, but it backfired because everyone got super, super drowsy, and they like couldn't shoot their scenes. So they had to like stop production for like a
Oh,
whole day and then start again.
Wow.
Poor
That's
guys.
amazing.
And then
Sucks.
they told him like, get over your seasickness,
Yeah.
like you're professionals, right?
Professional pirates.
Yeah. Are you ready for this? This is some hilariousness.
Okay.
So apparently, Spam. Did you read this already?
Like Spam
No.
Musubi?
Spam
I
sued.
am spam.
Yes, Spam
Oh.
sued the creators of this movie
Oh,
because
gosh.
the chief of the
Yeah.
pigs on the island was named Spam, and so Hormel,
The company.
the
of
company,
Spam.
said Henson had intentionally, quote unquote, intentionally portrayed the Spam character to be evil in porcine form. Porcine.
Porcine?
You know, pig form.
Yeah, pig.
Okay. And the court was like, nah, you have no basis. And this is literally what they said. Quote, one might think that Hormel would welcome association with a genuine source of pork. Unquote.
That is so stupid. Why would they
Get
try
your
to
fake
sue
pig
them?
meat out of here,
The
Spam.
pigs, I'm sorry, but the pigs were literally them and the rats were my favorite parts of this
funny.
movie. What was her? Shakalaka?
Boom,
Shakalakal?
Boom, shakalakal. Boom,
Boom, shakalakal. Boom, shakalakala. Boom, shakalakala. Boom. Hilarious.
So funny.
That was great.
And you know what's funny about that too is that if you think about it, she kind of was like Jack Sparrow in the second movie,
Yes.
where like she's like some random
She
person,
got marooned on the island, and then
and she ends up
became
the
the queen.
Yep,
Yep, that's literally what happened.
Of
that's
course.
exactly Jack Sparrow right there.
Yeah.
They took this entire movie and turned it into a
Dead man's
franchise.
chest.
Isn't that hilarious? So a couple more interesting details is about the stages that they did this on. So apparently they had 7 stages.
Okay.
7 full stages with extravagant scents, including a complete seaport, the inn at the beginning, with interiors and exteriors, a 40-foot beach with palm trees, and 200,000 gallons of surf. Portion of the island with mountains and jungles, and detailed sets of boat interiors.
That's pretty good. And they got away with a $31 million budget for this movie. So they obviously weren't shooting on location, so that probably helped. But all those sets they made for relatively cheap.
It looked pretty realistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I thought it looked good.
for a early 90s movies,
Muppet
it wasn't
movie.
bad.
Like there's definitely like some green screen stuff when they're like on the boat and you can see like the night sky in the background behind them. But other than that, the movie looks pretty good throughout the whole thing.
It's not bad. And there's not many like special effects that take it out of like realism.
Yeah.
Like, because there's like explosions and then there's weird Muppety things,
Yeah.
but there's not like,
Kermit flying through the air.
I love it.
there's nothing like too weird.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job in that respect.
Yeah. Good job, Brian Henson, son of Jim Henson, who directed this movie. Oh, there's a podcast baby. She's awake.
Hi, podcast baby.
Hi, podcast baby.
She's a Muppet.
Ma, baby, baby, ma, baby, baby, ma.
She
Muppet
smiled.
babies.
She smiled.
Okay.
All right. Well, let us move on to the good time of the podcast.
Dun 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 dun. Ship battle. Here's a battle. We're on a ship. We're Muppets battling.
All right, ladies and gents. So this week's battle is more of a hybrid battle amongst us.
Hybrid
Pod
battle.
stars, okay?
I love it.
For this week's battle, we are going to be taking a Muppets Treasure Island quiz.
Oh.
And we are going to battle it out to see who was paying the most attention in this movie.
Uh-oh.
Either Andre,
It was
Michelle,
not me.
or me.
It was probably Emily.
Yeah. So,
And Emily.
Oh, Emily doesn't get to take the quiz?
no, I'm giving the quiz.
Oh.
Giving the quiz.
Because I know the answers.
All right.
Are you okay? You guys ready?
Yes.
So some of these are easy, and some of them are like, what? So have fun.
All right.
Okay.
Consult my
Do
notes.
I have to just buzz in when I know the answer?
Just yell out the answer.
Okay.
All right, everyone. We'll start with question number 1. Who directed this movie?
Brian Henson.
Dang.
Boom.
All right. Louis, don't turn off your mic. He's like switching it back and forth. Ready?
Yeah.
And you have to finish. You have to wait for me to get all the way through the question.
Oh, okay.
What's the name of the leader of the tribal pigs that they're inhabiting Treasure Island?
Spam.
Yeah.
Ooh, Spam. Very nice, Michelle. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
This one's hard. Why at first won't clueless Morgan give Long John Silver the black spot?
Because it's written,
It's written on a Bible
on
page?
A Bible page?
Truth, but he says something very stupidly specific.
I don't know.
Louise, do you remember?
If I give it to you, then I won't have it.
No, I
I
don't
know.
remember.
He says, because it's not his birthday.
Oh, that's right.
So stupid, but it's very true. I'll give you guys the point for that because
No, don't give me a point. It's
not you.
fair.
You don't get no points, Michelle and
On the
Andre.
Why do I get a
Bible.
point?
Because they said it was on the Bible. Because
No. It wasn't the exact thing he said. Don't give him a point.
Well, he
Hey,
took your
she's
point
the
away.
leader. She can give me a point.
No.
I'm the leader. I'll
See,
say
that's-
who gets
that's
the
That's what's wrong.
points.
Participation points. No. No participation points.
Okay, next one. What business does Rizzo start on board the ship?
He starts
cruise.
a cruise lining business for rats only.
Wow.
Ooh.
Very specific,
I
Louise.
think
Dude.
I should get that.
I said a
one.
cruise.
You did say a cruise, but this says a rat cruise line. Somebody
Boom.
give it to Louise.
Wow.
He just talked longer than you did, Michelle.
Yeah.
He was like,
He won
it's
by-
a cruise line
I was like,
for
a cruise.
rats.
He won with words.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
How old was Jim Hawkins when his father died at sea?
8.
7.
6.
What did you say, Michelle?
7.
What did you say, Andre?
I said 8.
6.
7 is right.
8 was Long John Silver.
Yep.
Wasn't it? Dang it.
You guys all had good close answers,
Yeah.
though. I would have said 11. Harry Potter. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Ooh, this one's hard. Which two characters kidnap Gonzo and Rizzo on board the ship?
The
Krabby
lobster dude
Parrot.
and
And
the
goat.
lobster and the goat.
And
Yeah.
the other one with the hat.
No, there's only two: the lobster and the goat.
Lobster and goat is wrong. What
Dang
did you
it.
say? You can't change it.
No, the Krabby Parrot.
Okay, that's the
Dude.
lobster.
Krabby Parrot.
That's the lobster. And Andre
I
said,
said the goat and the dude with the hat.
what color is the dude with the hat?
Green.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
boy.
Clueless Morgan and Mad Monty.
Hey, but I got lobster.
No,
But
but
the
the
lobster
lobster
didn't do it.
is
Oh, he didn't do it.
Larry the lobster or something. I don't know. He's Polly the lobster.
Polly the lobster.
Very good. The guy with the hat. Love it. Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
You ready? After Captain Smollett and Benjamina are tied up together and left dangling off a cliff, what is it claimed that led them here?
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daddy,
I only
love
sang
him.
it 25
Daddy, I
times.
love him.
Daddy, I love him. Daddy, I love him. What did the pirates have that scared away the tribal pigs?
The fire sticks.
Boom sticks.
Boom sticks.
Boom boom sticks,
boom.
which are called.
Guns.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Boom stick.
Boom boom sticks.
We see you have the boom
You guys all
boom
got the
stick.
boom.
Bye bye.
What nationality is Billy Bones from the beginning of the movie?
I don't
He's
know.
Irish.
Scottish is right.
That's right. Billy Connolly would never be
Played by
Irish.
Billy Connolly, who was born in Glasgow in a broad Scottish accent. That's what I was talking about in the beginning.
Scottish.
Say,
If you could change your fate,
Would ya?
would ya?
I was Flint's first mate that voyage. Okay, how does Long John get Mr. Eagle on the
He
lifeboat?
convinces him. To
Hey, I'm not
go
done! I'm not
and
done!
Test the lifeboats and then he casts them off to sea.
Yeah, what he said.
I mean, yeah, that.
Guys, I need to get a point here. I'm like dying. So
She said at the beginning to let her finish the question.
I did.
And you violated
Too
that
bad.
rule.
Okay, but you told him he's going to check for
Holes in the boat.
leaks. Okay, yeah, you're right. All right, moving on. Why does Captain Smollett disallow alcohol on the voyage?
Because he has to
he
set an
wants-
example for the hooligans.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't trust the thuggish pirates on
Yes.
Yeah,
The
he
crew
has
is
to be a good
questionable.
example.
the questionable crew. That's
Questionable
right.
crew.
Mhm.
What did Benjamina have a necklace made out of?
the gold coins from the
Doubloons?
treasures of
Spanish doubloons.
Spanish doubloons it is.
Boom.
That was good, Lou.
their
You said
gold.
you
and
said
their
go-
coins.
you did say gold
How
coins.
am I not getting that point?
I'm very, very proud of you. This is my favorite question.
done.
No. No.
Last one.
I didn't say it's the last one, but it's my favorite
Oh,
question.
okay.
Fill in the missing adjective from this pirate's name, heard only once on roll call. Big, fat, blank, bug-faced, baby-eating O'Brien. The options are oily, grubby, dirty, ugly. Not grubby.
Ugly.
Ugly. Andre, or Louis, what's your option? You're done? He's so done. It is ugly.
Yes. What's
Big,
the full-
fat, ugly, bug-faced, baby-eating O'Brien.
And then as a lady, she goes, hey.
She's like the best-looking person in the whole movie. All right. One more question. This is the last question.
Shabuya. Yeah. Shabuya. Roll call.
You ready?
Yeah.
How many pirates are named Tom?
Oh, dude. I'm going
Four.
to say 3.
Louis, do you have an option? He said, no, I'm done.
He's done.
4.
He's mad because I didn't give him the point. The answer is 3.
Yeah.
Old Tom, real old Tom, and dead Tom.
Andre won.
Andre,
Did I win?
you won
Hey!
with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Michelle in 4 and Luis in
Hey, I had 5.
3. No, I crossed that one out. See, that's the
Rude.
crossed out one.
Yeah, you didn't get that one.
Very nice, everyone. I think that was a fun battle.
Dun 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 dun. I won.
Hilarious. That was fun.
That was fun. Good
Big
job.
fat baby bug eating O'Brien. So dumb, but it's so funny.
Yeah, this movie is incredibly silly the entire way through, and it's silly for like a lot of like kiddish reasons, which is obviously the point. But you know, I found it to be very fun for me as an adult to watch this silliness occur.
Well, and I think it was refreshing, like you said, after all of like the Marvel movies, which have such serious implications, even though they have funny movements or moments. But yeah, I mean, I can see the problems in this movie as an adult, but
Sure.
I still had a fun time.
Yeah.
I had a time, and it was
Like time was
A time.
spent.
it was on the couch watching this movie.
Yeah. Well.
It was a less of a waste of a time than Monty Python was.
Oh, that's good.
That was a real waste of my time.
Okay, well, I'll tell you my
Correct.
score. Are you ready for my
you
score?
ready?
I can tell you
You're
it.
gonna do it? Wait. How much money did it make? What's its tomato
All right,
meter?
so we have a couple of things here. This movie had a budget, as I said, of $31 million. It grossed at the box office $34.3 million.
I told you it was
So,
like a
Whoa.
hot 3.
Hey, we came in $3 million up.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
probably good for that 1996 movie.
Yeah, it depends on if the budget, including like the marketing costs for this movie, because if they
Yeah.
spent more on marketing than than what they got back from the box office, then it's
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
It's not. A
But I
win
will
for them.
say that a lot of these movies have probably done better now that they've done like reruns and
yeah,
stuff. Because
and
a
like DVD sales.
But
and stuff
okay,
like that.
this is my personal opinion. Like, are the Muppets that popular? Like,
Yeah,
in general?
I think they are.
Well, it's funny that you asked that question because I feel like when this movie came out, the answer is yes. I think that they've dropped off in popularity since then.
Oh, sure.
Because when if you ask my mom right now, she is so in love with Kermit the Frog. It's like,
Yeah, she loves Kermit.
she just freaking loves the Muppets.
Yeah.
And I think it was just more of a generational thing because they had the TV show. The
Yes.
original TV show, and it was really popular.
They
you
tried
know,
to
that
bring
new
back
TV
that Muppet
show,
show.
it was pretty funny, though.
I freaking loved that one
Yeah,
when they remaked it.
the one that was like on NBC where they were like on the back lots making their show. Yeah,
So funny.
It was good, but it only lasted like a season or two. I
Yeah.
think.
No, people didn't like it because it wasn't Muppety enough. It was too adult.
Right, and then
Which-
the new
Yeah,
Muppets
and
movies that came out with the Jason Segel ones and
I
the,
liked
the
that.
Tina Fey ones, they were pretty good, but they weren't like blowing the socks off.
Well,
everybody.
and I guess we can talk about this on Crack in the Vault, this new movie that's going to come out with the Muppets. So we'll see how the world reacts to that one.
I don't know anything about.
I don't
this.
know what you're talking about.
What
yeah,
is
you
the
do.
new one?
I'll show it to you.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, we
I
will
don't
know about it.
I just
Yeah.
never have thought, maybe just because I never really grew up with the
Mm-hmm.
Muppets, or like my parents weren't that into the Muppets. Like I knew the Rainbow Connection song, and like
Yeah.
that was about it.
Right.
So I knew I liked Kermit and Miss Piggy. But
Well, I
like,
will tell you
I
that
don't have a connection.
after watching this movie, this one and Christmas Carol
yeah,
aside, Muppets in general aren't my favorite.
sure.
And I would say that out of this one and I think the Christmas Carol is better than this one now
I
being an
agree.
adult looking back. But these two are the better
Of the
Muppets
Muppet
movies.
movies.
Yeah.
I think.
When they adapt an existing property and then just stick their characters inside of them, it's really fun.
Yeah. And I think they do a little bit better than when they make up their own script. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
you know.
But that's just my personal opinion.
On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie has a score of 70% on the tomato
Okay.
meter. The audience score is 76%, an average rating of 6.2 out of 10 stars. So, pretty good.
Average.
Well received for the most part. Still fresh.
Still better than Batman v Soupy.
Yep.
Batman v Soupy.
BVS.
Louise.
a better crossover than those two.
All right, so Andre, then what are you gonna give this movie?
No, let me go first.
Oh,
Yes.
Emily wants to go first.
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna be true
she's biased?
to no. Shut your mouth.
Whoa.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because why are you giving me eyebrows? You put your eyebrows down. Take your eyebrows down a
away.
notch. I'm gonna give it a 7 because looking at it with mine eyes now, issues. Yes, it's a Muppet movie. There's gonna be issues, but I really like it. Will I watch it again? Yes. Will I sing
Yes.
along? Yes, I will. But is it ridiculous? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and do I hate every other human actor in this movie? All the pirates, do I hate them very seriously? Yes.
Yeah.
So, for what it's worth, I would give it like an 8 or 9. Like
Sure.
out of
your
Muppetry,
personal liking.
yes, I would give it like an 8 or a 9 because I really like it. But in general, as a movie, I would give it like a 7,
Yeah.
maybe a 7.5 on a really good day. But it is a 7.
Right.
Okay.
I think I am going to give it a 7.5.
Are you giving it a 0.5 for nostalgia?
I'm actually giving it a 0.5 for the rats.
Those rats.
The whole movie itself is fine. It's fun. It's extremely silly. It's a little bit like wonky throughout the entire time. Just the transition of normal story with Muppets ridiculousness. That transition isn't great, but the addition of the rats in the background of everything that's going on. Like at one point they're like on the island and Boom Shakalakal is on her way out. And the rats are sitting at little dining tables like they're about to watch a show. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, they're watching like a tribal dinner fire
They've
show.
all got like Hawaiian shirts on, like they're on vacation. It's exactly what me and Michelle are going to be like when we go on a cruise this weekend or this holiday
I'm gonna be
season.
like dun 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 boom boom. That's what
Not
I'm gonna do.
the right pirate movie.
So-
Yeah, maybe I'll sing this one too.
Shiver my timber, shiver
Hans
my soul.
Zimmer song nonetheless.
Seriously, I will be singing some Zimmer.
Yeah. So yeah, 7.5 from me for rat fun.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
Muppets isn't my thing. Does it have funny parts that I thoroughly enjoyed? Yes. Will I probably watch it again? No. Like I don't think I will.
Okay.
Unless my future child is like, this was Muppet Treasure Island. And I'm
So
like,
Andre
okay.
and your child will come over here and watch it with me and Addie.
Yeah.
Sure. Like I just don't think the Muppets is my thing. It has funny parts. There's things that I like, but it didn't get me that excited. And it's still it's an okay movie. So a 6. It's not like it's like a 2. It's an
No.
okay movie. It's a 6. Luis, what are you gonna rate this
Lou,
movie?
shikalaka,
I'll
Lou.
give it a 7. It was pretty good. I liked it. If it wasn't for Sam Diego, I would have rated it much lower.
No, and Kermit. You liked Kermit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like Kermit, but more like either way, Sam Diego, if he's not in it, it would have gone lower. So.
Right. Yeah.
I feel you.
This movie did make me want to watch Muppets Christmas Carol.
Right?
Like I was thinking about that a lot, especially when Sam the Eagle is dressed up like a ghost. Boogie 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 boogie.
It's so funny because the cool thing about the Muppets, I think, is that they always play like their character plays their character
Yeah.
in every thing they're in.
Right.
So Sam the Eagle is supposed to be like this American patriot, so he always plays the straight and narrow law-abiding person. And so like in this one, he's the first mate who's keeping the ship like afloat and
Yes.
everything. And then like the Christmas Carol movie, he's supposed to be like the British school teacher, and he literally says
right.
something about being it's the American way. Freaking Rizzo goes up in his ears like and he's like, oh, it's the British way. It's like, yeah, I know you messed that one up. That's cool, Sam.
That's amazing.
Do you, bud?
Fantastic.
Too cute.
Yeah. So middling scores from us for the Muppets Treasure Island.
Still fun though.
But a fun movie nonetheless, and I do recommend that you watch it, especially if you're in a particularly silly mood. Go for it. So that's it for Muppets Treasure Island for this week. Next week, we're doing a big one. Drum roll, please. Next week, we are watching Coco?
Go, 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 go.
It's Coco time, baby. We're watching 2017's Coco.
And the most excited person here is the podcast baby because she'd
Podcast
be
baby.
loving herself.
What is music? It's my language in the world. It's mi familia.
Yeah.
That was podcast, baby.
That was Addie. Beautiful.
So yes, rewatch Coco. Grab your tissues and join us next
grab
week.
a lot of tissue.
I won't even lie. We were watching it the other day, and I looked at Lou. I'm like, "You trying to cry?" And he said, "Shut up."
We only watched about 30 minutes of it, and it was still great because I had started watching that movie a couple weeks ago with Addie, just me and her, and then Evs jumped in on the last half hour with us.
And he's over there like
It's
Trying
a
to cry?
tearjerker.
trying to
Number
cry,
one.
Lou.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Coco by now, Get with it.
Get
Watch
your life
it,
together and
watch Coco and listen to us next week.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Ooh. Ooh.
In the meantime, you can hit us up on social media. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Instagram is where all the action is happening. So if you're on those other platforms, get an Instagram. If you want to contact us, you can DM us on any of those social networking platforms, or you can send us an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. That's where I like to read your messages on the show. You can ask us for advice or questions or
advice. We're also an advice column.
Yeah, we'll do an advice column. Walt will answer your emails. If you want to help out the Walt, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can, first of all, subscribe on any podcast platform that you're listening on. We are on
Podcast Places.
We're on Google Play, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher. We're on every podcast platform that you can possibly look for us on.
Oh my god.
So go there, click subscribe, leave a review and a rating. 5 stars is my favorite number of stars. You can also help us out by shopping on Amazon. If you go to thewaltvaultpod.com/Amazon and click the button, you can even bookmark it if you want. And then every time you buy something from Amazon, a small portion of your purchase will be given to us at no additional cost to you, because Amazon rules like that. So go there, shop for stuff. You can also help us out by joining our Patreon. Become a Walt Vault patron. For as little as $1 a month, you won't even miss it. You get access to our after show, A Crack in the Vault, where we talk about some of the more adult aspects of these Disney movies, and we get wild and crazy on that show. I also have been posting my eccentric notes to the Patreon, and those are fairly enjoyable. So go there, check that out, do all of the stuff, and we will see you next week. That has been it for us, The Vault.